All right. Well, Neerja Chaudhary and Aarti Jairat, two senior journalists with us in the studios to talk a little more about this particular phase of the election. But I want to start off with what the election commissioner just said about the fact that there is a lot of utsaha among the people to vote. The polling percentages have improved over the last two phases, Neerja Chaudhary, haven't they?
They have. And I think probably the BJP has, what should I say, tick out the system. Maybe people were sitting at home, karyakartas were, it's all very thanda mahal in the first two phases. And I think now the organization has been revved up clearly.
Right.
And RSS workers who were not out, in the first stages, maybe they are also out a little more this time. So certainly polling percentage. And Delhi, of course, in the morning I saw in middle class colonies at 7 o'clock people, long queues of people wanting to come out and vote before it got too hot.
Yeah, well, it is extremely hot, isn't it? But Aarti Jairat, a quick word from you as well. As far as numbers are concerned, Delhi still though lower. We are almost, the voter percentage at the moment, the overall percentage is pretty decent. In fact, it's better than what it was at this time around in the 2019 polls for this particular phase at this particular time. But Delhi is still typically low. West Bengal is extremely high, but even Odisha is typically low at this point.
I just want to sort of recheck on the last phase. I think the last phase, the turnout dipped.
Yes.
Yeah, so last phase, the turnout was lower. This phase, somehow, it seems to be going up. As far as Delhi is concerned, Delhi, like all metros, we saw in Mumbai, the turnout was low. We saw in Chennai, the turnout was low. Delhi also suffers from the same disease of being, maybe entitled kind of metro, and people don't seem to really care about the elections. And that's why the turnout has not been as brisk so far.
But it's a fascinating election.
No, look at Haryana, look at Faridabad, look at Gurgaon. The huge queues in both these urban centers. But this is Haryana, not Delhi.
Yes, we've seen huge queues in Rewari as well. In fact, we just had a reporter joining us from there. So Manesar, Rewari, Gurugram, all of these areas.
Yes, all these areas, and these are sort of urbanized areas. So, clearly this urban apathy is basically limited to metros. In other urban areas, people are pretty enthusiastic about polling. And that's what's so interesting now that, I think in Haryana, the competition is, much more high-pitched. Because in Haryana, what we've seen is that the Congress is actually putting up a fight.
Yes.
And maybe fact, that is what is infusing, voters to come out and vote.
I wanted to ask you specifically about, what's happening in Haryana, because it's going to be very interesting to see how the battle plays out in Haryana. The BJP, of course, has swept Haryana 10 out of 10 last time around. This time around, the context in the state is very different. The state's also going to polls in another 6 months from now. And there are questions over the numbers as far as the BJP is concerned, whether the government has the support, independents withdrew, the chief minister changed.
Right, absolutely.
But do you think this time around that 27% Jat vote in Haryana, do you think there is a palpable anger against the BJP given the farm agitation, the wrestlers agitation, the Agniveer protests, etc.? Did you at all sense that?
Yes, of course. And that is why there is a competition in Haryana. Otherwise, the last two elections, it's been almost a walkover for the BJP.
Yes.
But this time, there is definite Jat anger, which is, coming from Punjab, and coming in, spilling over into Haryana. And this whole thing of farmers' unrest, MSP, agriculture prices, and so on. And I think the other thing that the BJP has done is that this time, out of the 10 seats, it has given 6 tickets to Congress defectors.
Yes.
So it's old
6
workers.
out of 10 is all
6
old
out of 10,
Congress.
60%. Can you imagine? So, I mean, the joke going around is that, vote for your Congress MP. but
your ex-Congress MP.
Your ex-Congress MP. That's right. So, that's the thing, that there's also anger amongst BJP workers.
I mean, do you think some of that has perhaps been offset by the change in Chief Minister, the fact that they have Nayaab Singh Saini, an OBC faces Chief Minister, coming in just week ahead of polls? Manohar Lal Khattar contesting, the Lok Sabha polls from Karnataka. Do you think that the BJP perhaps sensed that and therefore made changes to the scheme of things in order to
I think BJP
consolidate votes on the other side, because the Jat vote is just about 27%.
The BJP sensed that and went in for a different strategy. As far as, I found traveling through Haryana, I sensed Jat anger as opposed to Jat dissatisfaction in Uttar Pradesh, western part of Uttar Pradesh, which they managed to a certain extent with the RLD joining hands with the BJP. So, but last time also there was Jat unhappiness, and they had managed that it didn't show in the seats. But in Haryana there is anger, there is talk about BJP candidates not being, or BJP workers not being allowed to enter villages that are Jat dominant, and that's a fact. So in 5-6 seats which are Jat dominant, as Aarti was saying, there is huge takkar, and there's a possibility, many people concede, that the Congress may just win. But the BJP's strategy is to consolidate the non-Jat voter. That has also worked in the past as a phalanx. So they've gone in for the OBC. That's why they changed Mr. Khattar and brought in Mr. Saini, who is an OBC. So OBC vote is about 20-25% in Haryana. So it offsets the Jat.
In fact, we have a BJP spokesperson joining us.
Can I just add one thing here?
Please.
Quickly.
Yes.
You see, the thing is that Manohar Lal Khattar was also part of that strategy, where you bring in a non-Jat, because Haryana traditionally has had Jat chief ministers. Bring in a non-Jat. But Manohar Lal Khattar over the years had kind of established himself. Saini is a new face, and he's just been brought in before the elections. He really hasn't had time to consolidate his position, consolidate himself, develop any kind of an image for himself. So I don't know how well that strategy will work. Whether it's...
We'll know.
We'll know in 10 days, I think we'll know.
Yes, and also, like I said, 6 months down the line, there is a state election in Haryana as well. So
but he may win his seat, Karnal, because the Punjabis are solidly with him.
But he wasn't allowed to speak in Karnal. Khattar faced protests. I saw people wearing saffron pattas and shouting him down. It was quite shocking to me. Actually.
Interesting that you say that. We'll try and get a reaction from the BJP spokesperson as well. I believe Charu Pragya is with us. Charu Pragya, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We were talking about, what's happening in Haryana and how the battle is playing out. And it's been interesting to see this kind of rethink as far as, the chief minister is concerned, a change in face in Haryana just ahead of the polls. We were also talking about how 6 out of the 10 candidates that the BJP has put forth in Haryana this time are Congress turncoats. So that's an interesting sort of a factor as far as this election is concerned. What's your take on it?
Good morning, Rishika. But let me first begin by appealing to the people in all of these 58 constituencies that are voting today to please go out and vote if you haven't done that already. It's your right, it's your duty, and here's your chance to contribute to building Viksit Bharat by 2047. Coming to Haryana, the fact is that the last state elections were won by Bharatiya Janata Party. The one after that were also won by Bharatiya Janata Party. We are currently in government. In 2019 elections, BJP swept all 10 seats in the state of Haryana. So all of this conversation that has repeatedly happened, whether it was with regards to the farmers' protest, or I was listening in just now about how the Jats could be unhappy with the Bharatiya Janata Party, this is only chatter and nothing else. This is just something that the opposition likes to talk about, because I'm a Jat, though not from Haryana, I'm from Uttar Pradesh. But let me tell you, everyone around me that I know is very happily voting for Bharatiya Janata Party. And I will give you an example. In spite of them being an uproar about protests here and there, every single election was won by Bharatiya Janata Party. That just goes on to show that a narrative which was put forward by the opposition doesn't stand any weight on the ground. The first thing. The second thing is Bharatiya Janata Party does not believe in dividing up the country into different castes and communities and castes. We have never done that. We stand for Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. We stand for making sure India develops as a whole. Every single state gets its due. It performs well. The youngsters have a better future. And that's exactly why why the citizens align with the ideology of Modi ji and Bharatiya Janata Party. These elections, I feel, will be no different. As for changing candidates, I think that anyone who aligns with this vision that we are painting for the future of our country is most welcome to contribute. And why not? You could have made mistakes in the past, or you thought a different way in the past. But if you're changing now, why not?
Okay, well, clearly that's the strategy. So I think it needs no explanation. There's been a lot of rethink as far as Haryana is concerned. Shivam Bhagat's also with us, spokesperson of the Congress. Shivam Bhagat, it's an important battle for the Congress, as far as Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, all of these states is concerned. Haryana and Delhi, of course, polling today. Punjab will be polling in the last phase. But there are many questions over the fact that, you tied up with the Aam Aadmi Party as far as Delhi is concerned. But you didn't manage that tie-up in Punjab and Haryana. How do you explain that to the voter? And do you think that tie-up with, the AAP perhaps was essential for Delhi and not essential for Haryana and Punjab? How do you explain that to the voter?
See, good afternoon. The different states have different problems. In Delhi, it was very essential, and it is the beauty of democracy that two parties have come together to save the constitution. In our door-to-door campaigns in Delhi, and even before the election, it came to our notice that people are very, very tired of the BJP. The people are very tired of rising prices, of inflation, of unemployment, and they have seen the work that the Congress has done, and the work that has been done overall in Delhi in the last 30 to 40 years. And in Delhi, it was very important, and the change and the nervousness of the BJP is palpable. They have dropped 6 of their 7 MPs. So the question needs to go to the BJP also. If they were doing such a phenomenal job, why have they dropped 6 of their 7 MPs? And then on top of the rising prices and unemployment, the high-handedness and authoritarianism of the BJP has not gone down well with the people of Delhi. And Delhi is yearning for change.
All right. So you're saying the context is different. You, of course, have a tie-up in Delhi and Haryana, but you don't have a tie-up in Punjab. And that's the sort of strategy that the Congress has employed even when it comes to the left. So very interesting political context this time around as far as the election is concerned. We're of course very keenly going to be watching what's happening in Delhi as well as Haryana, but we'll also focus a little bit on Uttar Pradesh because the key constituencies, Azamgarh, Allahabad also polling today. We'll see what's happening there. Sultanpur, where Menaka Gandhi is contesting. So all that and more is going to come up on the other side of a very short break. Do stay with us.